Hi, my name is Josephine Lang, and I'd like to speak a little bit today about how to bring ease to digestion, very simply. So many of us have digestive problems where there's so much of the acid reflux and other difficulties that people have. And there's a very simple way to bring a lot of relief to those kinds of problems, or little tummy ache, or just having food sit in your stomach like a rock. And one of the easiest ways to overcome some of these problems is through food combining. And it's something that not a lot of people talk about, but it's such a simple thing to do, and it's relatively easy to understand. There are a few little basic rules that go with food combining, and one is that you always eat fruits alone. So, not to eat fruits in combination with other foods. Fruits are very sweet, and sweet things go to the front of the line. And of course, if you are looking to increase the health in your life, you're going to want to eliminate some of the things like refined sugars and refined carbohydrates. So we're talking about whole foods here, eating whole natural foods, things that you would find in a garden. And so much of health is about a return to the garden. So this is part of that. So eating fruits alone, that's the first one. And especially melon. Melon is not supposed to be eaten with other fruits. And if you're getting a little more technical on the food combining, you want to have sweet fruits with sweet fruits and medium acidic fruits or slightly sour fruits with other slightly sour fruits, and then really sour fruits alone with other sour fruits. So that's a subtle little subdivision of food combining. But the basic main idea is eat fruits alone. And then as well, carbohydrates can be eaten with greens and low starch vegetables, and so can proteins. They can also be eaten with greens and low starch vegetables. However, carbohydrates should not be eaten with proteins. Because if you eat carbohydrates and proteins together, carbohydrates are like a sugar also. And sugar always steps to the head of the line. So let's say you're eating and you've just sat down to a nice piece of something protein rich, like some nuts and seeds, or perhaps some animal products. And then you go ahead and have some carbohydrate, like some mashed potato or bread or something. And you put the carbohydrate in. Well, your stomach has already begun to digest the protein, and it has sent out certain acids that digest the protein. And the protein is well underway for its digestion. But then in comes the carbohydrate, and carbohydrate steps to the front of the line, and all of those acids that you were digesting your protein with now get put on hold, and in come the stomach acids for digesting the carbohydrate. And the carbohydrate gets underway for digestion, and the protein meanwhile has to sit there, and it begins to ferment, and it causes gases, and it gets very unhappy, and it starts to putrefy, and it's not a good thing. And the carbohydrate moves through the stomach into the small intestine faster, and the protein has to wait its turn. And then let's say you go ahead and have some dessert after that meal that you've just had, let's say chicken and mashed potato, and now you're going to throw some pie in there. The meat is going to have to wait even longer. The protein is going to have to wait even longer for its digestion. And then it really starts to putrefy, and that's where we get into trouble. So if we want to have a protein meal, like nuts and seeds on salad, or a hamburger with a salad, that's a great combination. Those are going to go well together. The low starchy vegetables like greens, leafy greens, salad, zucchini, that kind of thing. Organic, of course, always is best when we're healing. And all the time anyway, just for general health insurance. Or you can have your carbohydrate with your greens. Like you can have mashed potatoes with a salad, or rice with a salad, nice brown rice or something like that. So keeping those proteins and carbohydrates separate, and then also keeping the fruits separate, is the secret for the basics of food combining. And then, of course, we have the fats and oils category of food as well. So it's all right to use a little bit of fat and oil in with your protein and your leafy greens, like perhaps olive oil on your salad. Or it's okay to have a little bit of fat and oil with your carbohydrates and your leafy greens, like maybe you would have butter on your potato. But we don't want to get too crazy with too many fats thrown in there. So you don't want to have coconut oil and butter and olive oil all thrown into the same recipe, into the same stomach at the same time, or things get a little confusing in there. So keeping it a little simple as much as you can really does help to ease our digestion. And paying just a little bit of attention to food combining really does help a lot. So if you've been having stomach problems, going ahead and starting with that, just those few simple rules: fruits alone, carbohydrates alone, from separate from proteins, and either of those proteins or carbohydrates can go with your nice low starchy green vegetables. So I hope that this has been helpful, and may you have beautiful health. Thanks so much for listening, and please check out my website if you get a chance, stepintomagic.com. Bye for now.